most unique Japan cafes that should exist in the US. First, there's the 2D cafe. The moment you walk in, it feels like you just stepped into a cartoon. Everything is black and white, from the chairs, tables, and walls to the cups and utensils, giving the entire space a hand-drawn 2D look. Even the food plays along, like cakes that look like flat illustrations until you actually bite into them. Next, there's a capybara cafe. You get to chill with real capybaras while you sip your drink. They roam around the space. You can pet them, feed them snacks, and they're surprisingly calm and friendly, like oversized guinea pigs that just vibe. Lastly, the Bear Paw Cafe is like an introvert's dream. It's popular for one reason: no face-to-face interaction. The goal of the cafe is to create a low-stress work environment for employees coping with mental health conditions. You don't speak to anyone. You just place your order on an LED screen, hand over your ticket, and while you wait, you can even play little games at your table. Then a big fluffy bear paw reaches through the wall to deliver your order. Would you love to visit these?
Hello, everyone. Welcome again for another Sansu Show episode. Good morning, good afternoon. It's the whole night through. Good evening and good day to you and your yala. I'm always excited to see you, my online family and friends. Welcome again to another Wednesday for another hump day. Courtesy of PHLV Radio, Favor Las Vegas. You know what? I'm so excited because I have one of my BFF, they call it a best friends today, that's going to help me on the show. She will be my co-host. I'm going to introduce to her later. I'm introduce you guys later. I mean, okay, check this out, you guys. The video that you just saw before our intro video. My God, Japan is really so advanced compared to us. That's a coffee shop with no employees. It's just a self-service coffee shop. And they even have an animal there. That was kind of weird, huh? But I mean, they invented the camera. They invented, they're so advanced. I mean, just unbelievable. That's why our topic today, our country that I picked today, is Japan. Because it's an amazing. It's one place that I would like to spend time. I mean, I pass by when I go to the Philippines, when I go home, and I just stop over in Japan for like a day. It was the longest I ever stayed. But I only went downtown, and oh my God, people are so polite, and they said that it's not like they don't want to talk to you. It's just that they're more because they're so polite that even when they bow their head like that, I mean, they just want to honor you, saying that's why they say hello. But not like as American, what's up, kind of, hey, good morning, what happened, they're not like that. They're so solemn, because Japan is a land of contrast, seemingly merged the ancient with the modern, famed for its rich cultural tapestry. And they have people have longer lives. They live longer. I don't know. I think it's the food that they eat. They don't eat a lot of meat though. They eat more of a seafood, fish and stuff. You know, uh, um, like the country is so home traditions like tea ceremonies and sumo wrestling. Now, sumo wrestling, they have to feed those people because you don't see a lot of heavyweight, people in Japan, as well as, the cutting edge technologies, they're number one that influence the world and its cultural scene from sushi to ramen. That's my favorite food, sushi. But you know what? Their sushi tastes different than the American sushi. I guess they kind of the flavor they have to adapt it to the American style, the American flavor. And so it's a little bit different because when you go to Japan, it totally tastes so different. And of course, they have the ramen, delights food enthusiasts, and they globally, and also they kind of decorate their food. They love to kind of make it into an art. They love to make it into an art. Japan's unique charm ties in its deep respect for nature, seen in the breathtaking cherry blossoms and the awe-inspiring Mount Fuji, a symbol of resilience and beauty. So, Japan, I salute you. You're one of my favorite countries, besides my hometown, Philippines, of course. Of course. Now, that's why I have Japan because we're still in May. And you know, May is an Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month that covers the whole Asian country, celebrating to honor the history, cultures, and achievements of these diverse communities. I mean, the origin of the AANHPI, that's a long title, Heritage Month, right? When I say AA and HPIA, and what I mean is Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month traces its roots to the late 1970s. Let me give you a little insight when it started. In 1978, Congress passed a joint resolution designating the first 10 days of May as Asian Pacific American Heritage Week. The timing was deliberate. It marks the arrival of the first Japanese immigrants to the United States on May 7, 1843, and then the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad on May 10, 1869, a monumental project largely built by Chinese laborers. And that's really the fact. Over the years, the observance expanded, and in 1990, President George H.W. Bush proclaimed May as Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. It was later renamed to include Native Hawaiians and Pacific Islanders, creating a more inclusive recognition of the region's diverse populations. Did really expand it. We have to cover everybody, you know that. So it's an opportunity to celebrate the richness of these communities, and I'm part of it. So, and their contributions, schools, libraries, cultural institutions host events ranging from film screenings and panel discussions, cooking classes, and art exhibitions. These programs aim to educate us, the public, the American people, the history of the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islanders' histories, and foster cross-cultural appreciation. Of course, food is another way of introducing to us to all kinds of different foods, arts, forms, music, dance play central role as the United States become increasingly diverse, which is what we are like another United Nation. If you think about it, everybody in the neighborhood are already here in the United States, so it's going to be hard for other people to discriminate. It should not be. Discrimination should be gone because we're so diverse. This country is built with immigrants, is built with everyone here, right? All of us contributed, all race contributed in this country. The importance of celebrating ANHPI heritage grows by recognizing the histories, the struggles, the contribution of these communities. Society can foster a more inclusive and equitable future. So let's celebrate May. Let's make a toast to ANHPI. Cheers, everyone. And so now let me talk about Bay to Breakers. So if you have nothing to do this weekend, you guys, check out San Francisco because May 15 and May 16, they have the Bay to Breakers. So you have to dress up. I don't think it's late to register. So just go to baytobreakers.com, www.baytobreakers.com, and join in. It's going to be fun. It's only once a year, you guys. Now let's talk about our Pope, our new Pope, because our new Pope is an amazing one. It's the first time in history that we have an American Pope, because as they said, United States is a very powerful country in military, in government, and everything. So that's why it was so shocking to have an American Pope, and he's from Chicago. So I know Chicago is just cheering every single day, you guys. All the Catholic, even non-Catholics, because they're so proud. And they said he's he's a fan of baseball games. He loves baseball. And what I heard is he turned down a Harvard law, offered to him because he's very smart. He's a very smart man, especially in math. So he can count. He's really a good accountant. So he had an offer because he was a math teacher in Chicago, and he had an offer to go to Harvard's law school, and he turned it down, and he went to Peru to serve the poor. Could you imagine that? And he turned down a big, paycheck, a big paycheck, and to serve to the poor people. So I'm wondering who else will dare to do that, to turn down a big opportunity and just to serve his life to the poor, to feed them, to take care of them. My God, he is so holy. And check this out. I think his mother is a mixed race, and of course, as black people are already claiming he has a little touch in them because he's Creole. So it means Creole. In the old days, because when you're very light skinned black person, they can consider you as a white. They were trying to register as a black, but of course in the 1800s or 1800 and 1900s, in the early 1900s, it's hard to introduce yourself as a black person, especially when you're very, very light. So he has a little touch in him. That's why his heart is so open. So I just want to say congratulations, Pope Leo the 14th. We're so proud of you. You made history, the very first American Pope. And I hope they will last for a very, very long time. We need your prayers. And we also want to pray for you too. And vice versa. And thank you for all your service that you have done in Peru. He speaks 7 languages, and so and I can't wait for him to come down here in the United States to visit United States. And so there you go. Congratulations. God bless you, Pope Leo the 14th. And then now, I had Father Jeffrey Baraan 2 weeks ago. It was in Lenten season that he was one of my guests, and he was gonna give me a video about when he met Pope Francis, before he passed away. So that was a long time ago, actually. I think it was 10 years ago when he went to the Vatican, and and I promised to him that I'm going to share it to you how when he was interviewed in the Vatican City. So check it out.
And joining us now via Skype from Washington, D.C. is the parish priest of St. Anne's Church in Union City, California, Father Geoffrey Baraan. Father Baraan was the only Filipino invited to witness the Pope's address to U.S. Congress. Father Baraan, welcome to Balitang Amerika.
Well, magandang hapon dyan or hapon na.
Father, ano po ang pakiramdam na kayo ay naging saksi dito sa milestone na ito sa pagdating at pagsasalita ni Pope Francis sa Kongreso?
It's very humbling, very powerful, nakakaiyak. Talagang, it's a different feeling.
Father, Pope Francis talked about various controversial issues like poverty, immigration, death penalty, climate change. Do you think the Pope made an impact on U.S. lawmakers on how they address these issues?
I think he did. I think, he went to the heart of the gospel kasi talagang that is the gospel, that is the heart of the gospel. Yan ang puso ng at spirito ng good news, ng ebanghelyo. So he did, and in fact si Congressman Solville was very touched by it. Kaya I think he did have an impact.
You were able to meet
Yeah.
some prominent politicians, including presidential candidate Chris Christie. Well, today in that chamber, the church and the state were one. Iisa lang sila, nagkakasama sila doon. Now, can church and state really work together on issues that affect the community, Father?
Yeah, I didn't hear you. Ano yun?
nakita po natin ngayon na magkaisa ang simbahan at ang mga nasa gobyerno. Sa palagay po ba ninyo talagang pwedeng magsama-sama at magkaisa ang simbahan at ang pamahalaan para ng ganon ay mabigyan po ng kalutasan ng napakaraming mga issue na nakakaapekto sa ating komunidad?
Well, there can be a challenge, but it can be done. Sabi ng Santo Papa, we need to have passion and compassion. And I think that's so important, sa sinabi niya. The challenge to break down the barriers of ignorance, of hatred, of unwelcoming spirit. So I think it can be done, but it will be a very challenging one.
All right, and po
It's not easy. It's not easy to do that.
Hindi daw siya makapasok doon. Okay, good. Hi guys. Become live. But you know what? Oh my God. Thank you, Father Jeffrey Baran. See, I promise that, I'm going to show you, because you show our online family and friends about how you were in Vatican City and you're so proud of being Filipino priest. So now, I want to toast to a friend of mine that I'm going to introduce to you right now. My God, she's a beautiful. We had a show before called Girls Talk. She was one of them. So without further ado, let me introduce to you Miss Dulce Dizon.
Hello, girl.
Let's cheers.
Oh, I can see. Oh, there you go.
There you go. My God, Di, it's been what, centuries we haven't seen each other? Yeah, right?
No, well, about a couple of, no, I think I saw you last year. I saw you last
It was last year that we saw each other?
Yeah, we got together last year along with Beng. Beng is one of our Girls Talk hosts as well. So, but she's not here to join us. Yeah.
I miss our other girl too.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
Thought about it because Girls Talk has always been one of my favorite topics.
Yeah,
it's Girls Talk. So, okay, let me introduce yourself again to everyone.
Oh, okay.
I know it's been a long time.
Well,
family and friends.
I'm Dulce Dizon, and of course, I'm friends with Sansu, and I've always been, fiddling here and there with little shows here and there, programs. I used to be with Power ng Pinoy, and then I switched to Global Filipino Network. They're actually the same organization, and I was also part of that group. That community is actually like lifting up Filipinos and making sure that we're all inspired by all the Filipinos that are successful in the US. And then after that, I got quiet for a while, and then we did the Girls Talk show. And then I got quiet for a while again because Girls Talk kind of finished, right? So I'm really happy that you're allowing me, or you're inviting me over to guest with you and host with you. It's really my pleasure. So
thank you, my sister. Because I know you guys so busy, and thank you for taking the time to spend time with me tonight.
Anytime, anytime, as long as I have time.
Yeah. I know you guys so busy. Okay, I want to ask you this. What was the funniest or most embarrassing thing that happened to you when you were a kid?
Dang. That's like 10 years ago. I'm just kidding.
Of course. We're both 25.
Oh, you're still older than me because I'm 21.
You're 21. I'm sorry.
When I was a child. So I think the one thing that I could remember was, well, speaking of Pope, right? So I have an uncle that was a cardinal. So he was a cardinal in Cebu. And actually, I think it was cardinal in a different city too. But anyway, so we visited him at his home. And at his home, he had chickens. They had chicken coops and stuff, right? And so of course I was a little kid. I was like 5 years old or 6 years old, just starting to like socialize and stuff. Anyway,
Mhm.
so I started walking around the garden and I saw these little chickens, the chicks.
Mm.
I'm like, oh my God, I want one. So of course, as a kid, I went over and to grab one. And then suddenly I hear this clucking sound, cluck, 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 cluck. And then I freaking got chased by the mom. So the mom hen saw me get her little chick. And I think she got mad, right? So you know how
Yeah.
are. So she she ran around and trying to like to cut me. Like, oh my God. So I think I was so embarrassed that I just hid from everybody the whole day. They couldn't find me. I was just like so embarrassed. So that's the one thing that I remember so much, being a kid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
But okay, another question.
mhm.
If you could live anywhere in the world for a year, where would it
Mhm.
be? I
Oh, that's
just did a
easy.
topic about Japan, so
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I like Japan too, but that's kind of a little bit lower on my bucket list. But I think on top of my bucket list is Italy.
Italy.
Italy, yeah.
Oh, because you love wine, huh?
Yes, I love wine, and I
Yeah.
like the terrain in Italy. I like Florence. I like Rome. I mean, Italy has a lot of history, right? So
Excuse me. I'm
yeah, a
doing my
lot of
throat.
history. So I like Rome. I like Florence. I like Florence is for art, and then of
Mhm.
course Cinque Terre. Are you familiar with Cinque Terre? It's like a coastal town. It's a coastal region in Italy, and they always have this beautiful views of the um, Mediterranean homes right on the cliff. It's really pretty. I mean, it's always all over the place. Like if you go to an art shop, they always have that. And then of
Mhm.
course, I want to go to Tuscany because Tuscany is where it's a wine region there. So you could
Mhm.
find like Barbaresco, you could find Barolo, you can find Dolcetto, like my name, Dulce Dolcetto, which is a sweet wine. And then also, I think they have Prosecco and Prosecco. You like Prosecco? So Italy has
Pickle?
Prosecco, yeah, and Pinot Grigio. But anyways, aside from
Red
that,
wine or white wine?
huh?
Do you prefer red wine or white wine?
I prefer red, but wine. I mean, white wine also has its. Yeah, I mean, of course, like
Mhm.
for picnics and for fish, for
Mhm.
just hanging around, lounging around in the summer. You need white wine for that too. So, anyways, also for as far as the region goes, I like the fact that how here we have organic and non-organic, right? But
Mhm.
everything there is pretty much organic. You can eat as much as you want. You can eat as much carbohydrates as you want, and you're not
In
gonna get
Italy?
sick. Yes, they have a lot
Really?
of bread. They have a lot of like sweet stuff, right? In Italy,
Mhm.
but no matter what you eat, you're not gonna gain weight. Plus, you walk around a lot. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
so
But yeah, when I
yeah.
was, well, anything in Europe, I mean, anywhere in Europe, actually,
Mhm,
they don't have a lot of elevators. I don't think they believe
mhm.
in elevators.
No, no,
They have a lot
no.
of stairs, a lot of, you
They
really
walk a
have to
lot.
walk. That's why
Yeah,
they're in shape.
yeah,
But they
absolutely.
drink a lot of coffee, though. Good Lord. It's like, how it's like a dirt.
Oh,
What is, what that, Frappuccino or something, or whatever it's called?
oh, you mean
It's
cappuccino?
very thick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's really strong coffee. So if you don't like that, then just don't order it. Just order an Americano. That's why they have an Americano, right? So for people who
Yeah.
can't tolerate the espressos and the cappuccinos and the
No, I tried it when I was in Italy. I mean, I had to spit it because it would just
what?
taste like dirt. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
how can you? But the way they drink it though, they drink it straight.
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
don't. You know how you drink a little bit of a coffee?
yeah,
No, you don't taste it. You just swallow it.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
I do
I
that
mean,
sometimes. So it's just an espresso. It's just a little bit of, like a shot of espresso.
uh-huh.
You just kind of just drink it just for the caffeine. So you don't actually savor it. I mean, some people like it, but if you don't savor it, you just
Savor it.
jug
So
it.
if you're in, let me ask you, if you're an animal, which
Hmm.
one would you? Why?
Oh wow, that's
I know I've been giving
I
you all these questions, all these trivia questions, because you know why? These are the questions that a lot of people really don't even think about.
yeah,
Like you right?
yeah.
So
I
This
think
is something. Yeah, go ahead, because I
it's
would
a
like to
toss. It's
answer
a
that.
toss
Yeah.
between a swan. I like birds. Well, first of all, I like dogs, right? Because I mean,
Uh-huh.
I love dogs as a pet. But for me to become an animal, I'd probably become either a swan or a peacock, but a male
Peacock.
peacock. And the reason why is, well, I like birds. So a swan is just so beautiful, so elegant, so the graceful, demure, and quiet because they don't speak. But and then the peacock, I think the female peacocks are just plain and simple, but the male
Mhm.
peacocks are actually like very glamorous, and they have all these their plumes are like different colors. How peacock, it's teal and purple and yellow and green, and I like that because I think the swan and the peacock is actually my personality, because sometimes I'm really quiet, and then
Mhm.
sometimes I'm really like extravagant and glamorous, and all that. So I think,
Mm.
and because I'm a Gemini, I have both sides. So I think those two birds actually represent me quite well.
Aw.
I think that's what I'm
Well,
gonna
for
do.
me, I'd like to be a dog because I
Ah,
love.
I know you do. You have three,
I want
right?
to, yeah, but I don't want to be like a big dog. I just want medium size or little dogs that someone can just cuddle me all the time.
Oh, and
That
you could go everywhere.
spoils me. Yeah, that will take me everywhere, and they can put it in their purses, and they just kind of carry me everywhere and spoil me. You know what I mean? So that's why I like to be a dog, because if it's a big dog, then I'm gonna be like a working dog.
Yeah.
I'll be working all the time. No, if I be a dog, I want to be a lazy dog.
No, I think I believe that you could be a dog because you have such a kind heart, and dogs are
Oh,
kind-hearted, and they're
oh,
lovable, and
thank
always
you.
true, sincere. I'm not saying that because I love you. I'm saying that because it's true. I'm sure a lot of people can vouch for it.
Oh, thank you too, my dear. You
Oh,
too. Okay, now this is the last question.
okay.
Okay, what is the weirdest habit you have?
The weirdest habit I have.
Mhm.
Oh, that's another one. I don't think about that. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Okay, let me tell you what mine is.
Okay, yeah. So give me
You know,
give me
I
time to
mean,
think
I
about it.
know, I know. Auntie Lorna is watching right now, and she says that my habit is when someone talking to me, I say, mm-hmm.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know. It's just a habit of mine. When someone talks to me, and I just say, mm-hmm. It's like I just like to respond so that they know I'm paying attention. Because if I'm just so quiet, like I'm on the phone, and then you're gonna say, "Are you there? Are you there?" So when they say something, and that's why it became a habit of mine.
Mm.
Because every time I get quiet, and then you're on the other line, you'd be like, "Sansu, are you there?" You know. So I just like, mm-hmm, uh-huh. But I didn't know that that's not a good habit.
Oh, well, I don't, I think it's a good habit because I think that, that's showing, like you said, it's showing the person that you're actually listening to them, right?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think that to me, it's a good habit, unless you're just doing that and really not listening. So that's different. That's a different story. Like, yeah. And then the person asks you a question and you're like, huh? I don't
Actually, you can't really hear, huh?
like what? I really wasn't listening. Yeah. No, so I
That's like
think
the other guy. But someone was talking to me, and sometimes how people have slangs,
yeah.
and I sometimes when they talk so fast, I can't catch up. I can't understand. And
Mhm.
then I said, and then I didn't know that they were asking me a question. And
Oh
I
no.
was like, I said, did you hear what I said? I said,
Oops.
what?
Oh shoot.
Really? That is a bad habit too.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I think I'm doing it now. I think I'm always fixing my hair. Like I'm doing this all the time. Fixing my hair or
Really,
fiddling
really.
with my hair. So even if I'm talking to someone, I'm doing this. Or like I'm putting it on the other side.
A lot of people have that habit. A lot of women who have long
Yeah.
hair. have a
Yeah.
happy. I don't have it, so I can't really.
Well, actually, I've seen
Really-
people do this. They're kamuting all the time, like, so that's not a good habit either.
How about a Filipino habit? Yeah. No.
Oh, so sometimes my boyfriend's doing that now. Where is it?
That's just like when I was in the Philippines, we got lost and they said, "Oh, how could we find this place?" They said, like, "Well, when you turn right and then you make a left and then you make another right and then then you go straight and then there you go." It's right there. I was like, well, we're really gonna find that place, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's that good. But
Yeah.
okay, my dear. So I have some more questions later, but we're gonna talk about it later
Okay.
because I can't wait to introduce our guest tonight.
Oh,
And thank
great.
you for
Yeah.
helping me to be my co-host tonight, my dear.
Thank you. No, thank
So
you again.
yeah, so let's
It's my
take a
pleasure.
break and we'll be right back.
Po, si Orlino de la Cruz ay kapitan po ng Patal Pinto sa Pinatubo. Nagpapasalamat po ako sa Aita Tribe Foundation. Nagpapasalamat po ako uli sa mga bigay niyo po. Dito po ay lumiwanag na po ang namin po, community namin po. Naulit ko lang po, nagpapasalamat ako sa inyo po. Ito po. Ay, mas pasalamat kami po sa nagtutulong sa amin po sa Aita Foundation po. Ngayon lang po kami ng ilaw na maliwanag po dito sa Patal Pinto po. Thank you po.
Ito po yung mga kasama namin, nag-install ng solar dito sa sitio.
Hi guys, we're back. Okay, now let me introduce our guest tonight. She has a bachelor's degree in nursing from University of Technology in Sydney, Australia, as well as an MBA with emphasis in healthcare administration. She's currently the director of emergency services at AHMC's Satan, I don't know how to pronounce it, or Satan Medical Center. So, without further ado, because I'm so excited, she's also Bisaya. Please help me welcome Jackie Maturan. Hi, Jackie!
Hi, Jackie.
Miss Sanso.
Oh my God! So, Bisaya, juga kayo, Bisaya. Puro buyag. So, thank you for joining us tonight. From your
Kagwapa
busy...
ba nimo di ay oy?
Ikaw pa rin.
Oh, I understood that.
Thank you. Well, I know you. She looked like my cousin. Sheila. I mean, just perfectly the same feature and everything. Well, first of all, we want to thank you so much for taking your time, spending time with us, and educate us a little bit about medical stuff. And so, why did you pick Australia, Day? Why did you go to school in Australia?
You know, I was privileged enough to study in Sydney, Australia. Why did I choose Australia? I think who would not choose Australia to begin with? It's such a beautiful country, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
yes.
Yeah.
So I chose Australia because I fell in love with the beauty of Australia, and I believe that Australia is one of the leading country that provide an amazing education to to all of their students who goes to their school.
Oh, Okay, because I know Philippines has number one medical schools, aren't they?
Well, I think Sansu, every country has its own perks. Every
Yes.
country has its own highlights, right?
Mhm.
Australia is good at certain education. I'm sure Philippines also good about certain education. So every country has its own perks when it comes to education.
Yes, yes. So what's the difference? Okay, now that you're here in the US, what is the difference between the medical center in Australia and in the US? What's the difference?
The first thing that I notice when it comes to healthcare between Australia and America, Australia is a socialized medicine to begin with. So
Oh.
pretty much you can walk into any hospitals, you can see any general practitioners, and you don't have to worry about having a healthcare insurance. In America, of course, you can also walk into any emergency department. You can also see different healthcare providers, but really there is a difference having healthcare insurance versus no healthcare insurance. That is a huge difference.
Oh.
But well, as you know, there's actually an act, a federal act called IMTALA. IMTALA Act is anybody can walk into any emergency department, regardless of your ability to pay, regardless of your background, race, any sort of background. You can walk into any emergency department and you will receive the same treatment, just like everyone else.
So does that include public and that's private and public sector? Both of
Yes,
them?
IMTALA Act applies to both private and public sectors across the board in the entire country. You can walk into any emergency departments. So there are criterias that falls into the IMTALA Act. One is every person, every patient walking into any emergency department should receive medical screening examination by an emergency physician. And every patient should receive treatment and stabilization and transfer if appropriate. It's actually a violation of IMTALA if you will ask somebody about insurance. When you're walking into the emergency department, you're supposed to provide that medical screening examination first, before insurance, before copay, before anything to do with financial aspects of your visit in ED.
Oh, they okay. When you said that you're making a role in making significant changes to enhance the delivery of patient care to the people of Daly City, explain that, Dai. That you're making a difference in the Daly City surrounding area in the medical field.
Yes, so Seton Medical Center is actually a legacy of Delhi City, of the people of Delhi City. Seton Medical Center opened way back in 1893. Believe it or not, it's like over 100 years ago. It's an amazing hospital. So it pioneered the first angioplasty in the world. However, Seton Medical Center went through a lot of challenges. It went bankruptcy twice. First, with the sisters, used to be owned by the Daughters of Charity. It went bankrupt, and then it was acquired by Verity, and it went bankrupt again. So way back on August of 2020, AHMC, which stands for Advanced Health Managed Care Organization, acquired Seton Medical Center. And I wasn't the director at that time. I basically just joined Seton Medical Center about 8 months ago. So when I arrived at Seton Medical Center in Delhi City, I have discovered that a lot of people from the local areas didn't know if Seton was still open or not because of the bankruptcy that it experienced through Verity. So I've made a lot of difference by connecting. I started connecting with the local people in the community. I started building a relationship with the local people. 35% of the population of Delhi City is actually Filipinos,
Yeah.
which is great. Yes. So I started building a relationship with them. I started attending different events that events that are being arranged and hosted by different local people. So with my presence, my active engagement with the community, then I was able to send the message to everybody that Seton Medical Center is definitely open. We have an emergency department that is open 24/7. And I have brought in experienced ER nurses, and then we changed our doctors. We used to have a different group of emergency physicians. So last year of November, we changed to Vituity group. So Vituity physicians are very good with quality measures in taking care of patients in the emergency department. So we've made a lot of improvements. We've hired experienced ED nurses. We've changed our doctors. We purchased a lot of equipment, and we developed different structures that would cater the needs of the people in Delhi City and in San Francisco as well, because Seton Medical Center is actually taking care of patients of people from San Francisco and the northern side of San Mateo County. So we have made a lot of improvements.
Wow,
Oh,
that's great.
congratulations, my dear. My
Yeah.
God. So, Dulce, do you have a question for her?
Yeah. So Seton is a private hospital, right? Because I always
Yes, it is a for-profit organization. It is owned by Advanced Health Managed Care. That is actually our corporate is actually based in Los Angeles, and we own a lot of hospitals in Los Angeles. Here in the Bay Area, we own Seton Medical Center and Coastside Seton Medical Center. It's located in Half Moon Bay area. It's also a beautiful facility.
So what got you into nursing?
Sorry.
What got you into nursing? What
You know, when I
prompted
was
you?
younger, if you would be able to talk to my sisters, they would tell you that I used to be scared of blood. Yes, I used to be scared of anything to do with hospitals. And one day, I just woke up and I felt it in me that I wanted to be a heart surgeon. I said, I want to be a heart surgeon, and I thought nursing would be the perfect pre-med for me. So that's how I started my nursing career. And I actually started the medical program as well. But, when I did that, I was already in my late 20s, and I felt that I wanted to see the world over being stuck studying in medicine.
Yeah.
So I quit and I decided to travel the world and see different places and work in different areas. And I landed in California. And I'm still here.
We're glad you landed in California.
And I get to be talking with Miss Sanso in her podcast.
There you go. It's a good choice.
So, explain to us what AHMC stands for.
AHMC stands for Advanced Health Managed Care. It is a solid, strong organization. It is a for-profit organization. And as I said, our corporate is located in Los Angeles. And we own a lot of hospitals. We have one in Riverside. We have one in San Gabriel, one in El Monte, one in Anaheim, and Alhambra as well, on top of my head.
Okay, this is a medical question. Are there any specific screenings that I should consider based on my age? I'm only 25, but or family history?
Nowadays, it's really important to be proactive, to be responsible of our well-being, of our healthcare and well-being, because, nobody would actually tell us nowadays to make sure that you see your primary care physician. If we are not being proactive to our health, then it's not good. So first of all, we need to be responsible of our well-being, of our healthcare. If we are prescribed with certain medications, we have to be compliant with our medications. And I always advise my patients to keep a list of what medications you take. Because in an event that you end up in the emergency department, you're sick, you're not feeling well, I guarantee you, Sanso, you will not remember everything. You will not remember when was the last time you had your vaccination, when was the last time you saw your primary care physician, and etc. So being proactive, keeping track, keeping a record of your doctor visits, and keeping a list of your medications. And I think it's also important to be well informed, to be knowledgeable of the medications that you're taking, so that will allow you to be able to watch for certain diets or certain other over-the-counter medications that might interact with your current medications that are prescribed to you by your physicians.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, proactive is the key. Take good care of yourself.
Yes.
Self-love is the key. Self-love.
Self-love. Self-love.
Self-love, yes.
What are the signs that someone might need professional mental health support, though? Because I know that's the biggest problem right now. A lot of the, I'm not saying a lot, but some of the homeless population, that is some of the issues that they have, because some of them have PTSD and from being an active military before, or some have too much stress and anxiety, and it gives them a their mental capacity is so bad. So how can you help them, Dai? What are the signs?
Sanso, mental illness, the population of the patients who are suffering with some sort of mental illness is actually getting younger, believe it or not. I have seen suicidal patients coming into our emergency department as young as 8 years old, 9 years old. So your question is, when do we know to seek medical advice? You know it yourself. If you start hearing voices from somebody that doesn't exist, if you start seeing things that it's not there, so those are the signs that you would like to seek medical advice. Hearing voices, seeing things, having thoughts of hurting yourself. Anybody who's having thoughts of hurting themselves should actually call 911, because it is some sort of mental crisis. Other issues that I would suggest to seek medical help is even developing some sort of anxiety, anxiety, abnormal fears, and even just not getting good sleep. I mean, unable to sleep at night because you have a lot of thoughts running in your head. That could be some sort of some psych issues. So there's a lot of signs and symptoms that you would need to see a doctor. Only you knows what is happening to me that are within my norms versus what are these thoughts in my head, feelings that I have that are normally not in me on a day-to-day basis.
So So that's for yourself, right? But how about for other people? Like, let's say your relatives or your friends, because a lot of people are depressed these days. And like you said, just going to say that there are a lot of younger people that are depressed, right? With them, with the younger people, you could kind of still tell because you could see the difference between, between their depression, and they usually show it. But if it's somebody who knows how to conceal their depression, how do you how can you help somebody who has depression but doesn't show it? I mean, they're always
You know,
smiling or whatever.
if you live with someone, I
Mhm.
mean, that person you live with, you kind of see their pattern or their body language or their activities of daily living. If somebody stays in the room 24/7, not coming out, then you that would probably make you think there's something going on.
Mm.
But for depression, only a psychiatrist really can diagnose a person, because sometimes somebody wants to lock into the room for a day, but they're not depressed. And
Right.
someone could be exhibiting living a normal life, but they are depressed. So depression is something that should be diagnosed by a psychiatrist, a professional doctor. But as to how do you see the cues and the signs and the symptoms, it's really when you're seeing a change of behavior. If you're seeing someone pacing back and forth, like catching something up on the air when there's nothing. Those could be signs and symptoms of psych issues. But
Yeah.
again, really, a psychiatrist or a doctor would be the perfect person to diagnose anybody with depression, because every person exhibits different symptoms, different cues differently. Yeah.
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Thank you. Yeah.
thanks. So, Day,
Appreciate
what advice would you give to someone considering medical school?
Medical school. You know, if I
I
am
wanted to get into
Senso,
medical
if I am
school.
still in my 20s now, I will tell you, I will not do medical, I will not go to the medical program anymore. For anybody who wants to go to school to become a physician, you have to love it.
Mm.
You have to
Yes.
love it. You have to be passionate about it, because it's to begin with, the study part of it is very difficult to begin with, right? Commitment, long hours. You kind of party if you're in that program, pretty much. And on top of that, it's really your life is all about service. Your life is
Mhm.
all about dedication and service. Whatever you're doing, you would end up dropping your task or
Personal life.
activity,
Yeah.
because you've made all to serve the people, to take care of the people. So you have to love it, and committed commitment, passion, and dedication. Those are the three ingredients to be a successful a healthcare provider, in my own opinion.
Well, it's probably why I'm not a doctor, because I don't have all that.
Well,
I wanted to be a
I
doctor.
have it in me, but I just didn't finish my schooling. that
Mm.
that was the unfortunate part of it. But I love what I do. I'm making a lot of difference to the people that we serve in San Francisco, Daly City, northern area of San Mateo. I get to interact with the patients that we serve in the emergency departments, and I'm able to listen to their needs. I'm able to connect with them, making sure that our nurses and our doctors in our emergency departments are providing that excellent care to the patients that we serve. So for me, my role now is very rewarding, because not only that I'm serving the patients, I'm also continuing the legacy of Seton Medical Center. It's known for excellence in providing medical care to the people within the areas.
Yes, I've heard that before. I have a friend whose mom was diagnosed with cancer, and she was in Seton Medical Center, and they said that they really provide. They did their best to provide her mom with medical care, but she didn't make it. But still, the fact that she remembered that nurses and doctors were so great, it's an experience that she'll never forget, and she's really thankful for all of you at Seton.
You go to other emergency departments, you could be waiting for 3 hours, 4 hours. Our wait time in our emergency department is less than 30 minutes.
Wow.
I mean, yeah.
That's unheard of.
I actually developed a kind of urgent care structure model in our emergency department. I named it fast tracked. So basically, you're in and out. When you go to urgent care, people think, I want to go to urgent care because I'm not really that sick. And because I'm not really that sick, then I will be in and out. Yes and no, you will be in and out, but a lot of urgent care, when you go to urgent care, if you need some sort of imaging for let's say you have knee pain, then you have to go to another facility to get your images. If you need labs, you might need to go to other facility to get your labs done, right? I know that some urgent care, but not in the area of Daly City. I know that some other urgent care in Southern California, when you go to their facility, they'll do your images, they'll do your labs right there, right then, but not here. So in our emergency departments, I have opened a fast track section, which is a kind of an urgent care structure. But the good thing about it is if you need labs, I have the laboratory there in full capacity. If you need imaging, we have radiology in full capacity. So right there, right then, you're being seen by a board certified emergency physician. Now you're getting your labs, you're getting your images right there, right then. So you're definitely in and out. So that made a lot of difference to the people that we serve in Daly City.
Yeah, it's very efficient.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Wow. I mean, unbelievable. The changes that you made in the medical center. I mean, I never heard of that. That you don't have to wait to 2-3 hours in the emergency. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for changing all the structure in the medical. I mean, Daly City, San Mateo, and all those places that you're in charge of. They're so lucky to have you.
Thank you, Sansu. And actually, I have also developed a new flow in emergency department that when you walk into our emergency department, you will be met first by a triage nurse.
Wow.
The triage nurse is ready to listen to your problems. And also, we actually bring our patients straight to our patient care area at the back because we don't want anybody waiting in our waiting room. Wow. Yes. And also, I have actually hired nurses. I have nurses who speak Chinese. I have nurses who speak Filipino, English, Spanish, different languages. So in that way, we do have like different, we have like interpreting devices, okay? 24/7 ready anytime to be utilized to interpret if a patient is a non-English speaking. But for me, I think the experience is different if the nurse can speak your language versus somebody through the device speaking with you in that language. So saying that, so I have brought in experienced ER nurses that could speak different native languages.
Wow.
That's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do they have that equipment that, how they can buy now an equipment that will translate for you?
Yes, we have a translator machine, Sanso. It's actually it's on
Sing it,
wheels,
but you
right?
really have. Wow.
On the screen, Sanso, on the screen, it has all the languages in the world. Okay, you
Wow.
tap it. If I mean, believe it or not, we use the interpreting devices as well for our Visaya patients, for our Ilocanos and
Nice.
Tagalog, the older ones, right? Most of them can speak English, but
Kapampangan.
you have few cute ones that needs the interpreter, right? You touch it, and when you touch it, Sanso, the
Uh-huh.
interpreter would appear on the screen with an ID number, and then
Wow.
right there, right then, yeah, magic will happen.
I'll just go there just to try it.
It's amazing, yeah. It's actually no, it's actually it's one of the criteria for the California Public of Health regulation that you must utilize a professional interpreter, especially if you're talking about procedures, especially if you're talking about consent or some sort of test. It has to be discussed. It has to be explained through a professional interpreter. Yes.
Wow. Well,
I
thank you
still like
so
the
much,
fact.
my dear.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, since
I
we've been talking so much serious stuff, but before we let you go, we would like to ask you something to lighten up before we let you go. This is a trivia question, my dear. So if you were stranded on a desert island, what three items would you like to have with you? Since you're a
Cell
nurse.
phone. Sanso, cell phone is life. Okay? Because if I have my cell phone, I can watch videos. I can keep myself informed, connected to the world. Then it would give me the opportunity. It would allow me to know if somebody's on the way to rescue me, right? So number
Yeah,
one, I would want to
started,
have my
right?
cell
It
phone.
started. There's no connection, nothing.
Yeah. What if there's
Nothing, no
yeah,
connection.
nothing, no connection.
Well, I can still utilize my cell phone to entertain me offline,
That's
right?
true.
So cell phone is life. For me, I cannot start my day. I cannot end my day without my cell phone. So three
You have a cell
items,
phone, and
food.
yet when there's no how you can how
Charge.
you say if it died. How about you started if it died?
That's a good point.
I think it will depend on how long you're in the island, right?
I just know that if I get stranded anywhere, I will always end up with cell phone with me because a cell phone is always with me. So for me, three things I would like to have with me: food. I can't live without food, so I would like to have food. Three items: food, medicine, and something to entertain me. That would be cell phone. So those would be the three things, if
Uh-huh.
given a chance to choose, that I would like to keep with me if I get stranded anywhere.
Okay. If you didn't have a cell phone and you were given a chance to swap live with a celebrity, to be with a person, the celebrity is going to be with you in a deserted island,
Ooh.
if to exchange with a phone, who will it be? Which
Okay,
celebrity would?
celebrity. Okay, let me think who is a very smart. Let me think. I would like to be a celebrity who I can have an intelligent conversation with. I'm not into good looking celebrities, and so someone who is very smart. So let me think. You know what? I would like, I would call her as celebrity. I would like to be with, she's actually passed away now,
Oh.
Miss Maya Angelou,
Oh.
because her
Oh,
wisdom would
yes.
enlighten me.
She's Sansu's favorite
So
too,
I should have
right,
been
Sansu?
so specific. I should have been more specific, like alive.
Oh, like
I liked, I like to be with intelligent people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let,
Bill Gates. You'd be a
let
perfect
me
person.
ask you, Sanso, who is, okay, I'm going to ask you a question if you allow me. Who
Okay.
is a celebrity icon that on top of your head, who is intelligent. I can't even
Who is
think.
Natalie Portman.
intelligent?
Is Natalie Portman?
Natalie Portman.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, she's very, very intelligent. And I think what's her name? She's a 90s model.
Oh,
I can't remember her
wow.
name right now. Yeah, there's another one that's very intelligent. But I know Natalie Portman's I think she was cum laude. I don't remember what type of university she went to, but I just remember seeing that or reading that she was cum laude too.
Wow. Yeah, because I can't think of anyone.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Cindy Crawford is another one.
Who?
Cindy Crawford.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's the model that I was talking about. Yeah.
I
Cindy
didn't know
Crawford,
that.
another one.
Because the rest of them are all about beauty.
Yeah. No, but these ones are beauty and brains.
Oh,
Both
beauty
of
and
them.
brain. Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
But thank you so much. Thank you so much, my dear
Yeah,
Jackie.
thank you.
I mean, you educated us so much, and we're so proud of you. Being a Filipina, being a woman, I mean, we are so proud of what you accomplished, especially in the medical field.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to bring you back again because I know you have more things to talk about. There's more things that you want to share with us. And so, God bless you, my dear. And we have to have lunch one of these days
Yes, I can't wait.
together.
Yes, with Miss Lorna.
Yeah, with Ate Lorna. Yes, mga Bisaya. And
Next
also
time.
Dulce. Dulce is
Next time
Bisaya.
we should have
Oh, not.
Sanso, next time we should have a podcast all in Bisaya. How about
Wow.
that?
Yeah, that would be fun.
Right?
I'll
To empower
understand it and listen.
the Bisaya people in the world.
Well,
They
see,
love
Bisaya,
that.
we don't stop talking. We're just going, ano talaga, all day. Sige lang.
I wanna share to you something really funny before I
Okay.
go.
Okay.
So when I was new in California,
Hmm.
I wasn't really fluent in Tagalog. My Tagalog was really basic because as Bisaya, it seems like learning English is easier than learning Tagalog, right?
That's true.
So one day, we had a very sick patient, and I remember the patient was a child. And I was trying to calculate the medication dosage for this child, right? I was calculating, and we were in a resuscitation mode, right? And my coworker was like, "Jackie, hurry up!" And I said, "Wait, nalibog pa ko." I said, "Wait, nalibog pa ko." And my coworker was Tagalog, and my coworkers were, and I think there were like few of them. I could not forget. I will never forget that moment that they were all laughing at me because I said, "Wait, nalibog pa ko." I didn't know that the word nalibog pa ko in Tagalog is already something else, right?
It's a bad
Because in
term.
Bisaya, nalibog pa ko means, wait, I'm confused. I'm trying to calculate something here. But in Tagalog, it's already
It
not a
means-
good
it
word.
means something different.
I'll never forget that. So being a Bisaya sometimes is funny because we have a lot of words that means something else.
Something else in Tagalog or other dialects. Yeah. Well, thank you, Dai. God bless you.
Thank you,
so much.
Jackie.
I can't stop thanking you because, as I said, you're a very busy person. And for you to stay up late for us and to share, about medical and about what you accomplish and all that. And I can't wait. I can't wait to meet you in person, Dai.
Yeah.
I will always have time for you, Miss Sanso. Anytime. I will make time for you.
We're proud of you.
Thank you.
Bless
Proud
you,
of
my
you.
dear.
Have
See
a
you
good night.
soon. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye, Jackie.
Bye.
Hi guys, I hope you
Hello.
enjoyed our interview with Miss Jackie Maturan. Oh my Lord,
Ah,
we learned so much the difference between American medical services and also
yes,
the Australian
Australian.
services.
Yeah.
I mean, did you learn? Isn't
Oh
this
yeah, I
amazing?
learned so much. I mean, she actually had so much to tell us that I didn't even have questions. Like the questions in my head, she was already answering even before I could
No,
think
me
about it.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So we would like to say thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in with us. I know
thank
we're
you.
running late again, longer hours, but we just can't help it because we want to give you a lot of information, especially in the medical field. I just want to thank you, my dear
Thank
sister
you.
Dulce, for
Yeah.
co-hosting with me tonight. But before you go, as you know, we have a little theme, a little song to express our love to everyone. Right.
Yeah.
So
Because the world
before we
needs love now, right?
yes. So before we sing, I just want to say thank you, family and friends, for joining us tonight, and thank you, PHLB Radio Viva Las Vegas, and
Thank
our
you.
director, Johan Sison. And don't forget to spay neuter your animals, love, peace, and joy. And so we're gonna end up the show with a song. What love got to do with it? What was our song?
But the world
What
needs
love
love.
is
Yes, the world needs love.
Yeah, that was a good one too. What love got to do with it? But but I think what the world needs now is love. Sweet love is more appropriate because
That's right.
definitely, I know there is so much hatred and war and everything happening in other parts of the world. So
A lot of
again, thank
chaos.
you, my love. Thank you, and let's sing our last song to end our show. Okay,
Okay.
ready?
Sure.
What
But the
the
world
world
needs love.
needs now
Oops.
is
Love,
love,
sweet
sweet
love.
love. It's the
It's the
only
only
thing
thing that
that
there's just too
to
little love. What the
what the
world
world needs
needs
now
now
is
is love,
love,
sweet
sweet love,
love.
no, not
Not
just
just
for
for
some,
some, but
but
for
for every
everyone.
Lord. We don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb. There are oceans and rivers enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. What
The
the
world
world needs
needs
now
now
is
is
love,
love,
sweet
sweet
love.
love. It's the
It's the
only
only thing that
thing.
there's
It's
just
just too
too little of.
little.
What the world
World
needs
needs
now
now
is love,
love, sweet
sweet love,
love.
known not
Not
just
just
for
for some,
some,
but
but
for
for every.
everyone.
Yay!
Good night,
Without
everybody.
a rehearsal. We just want to share love. Love everyone, and we love you.
Love
See
you.
you
Thanks again for
soon.
having me.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.